All right, let's talk about something really powerful, taking back control of your inner world. We're going to dive right in. You know this feeling, right? It's that war nobody else can see, going on right inside your chest. Your heart starts pounding when someone disrespects you, or your thoughts just spiral out of control when a simple text goes unanswered. It's this deep, invisible battle that, let's be honest, pretty much everyone is fighting.
But what if? What if you could have this real, deep, internal power? I'm not talking about being heartless or numb. I'm talking about being, well, untouchable. And here's the thing, this isn't something you're born with. No way. It's something you train for. So today, we're going to break down that training. We're talking 9 habits that can give you that unshakable emotional control.
So let's start with this whole unseen battle. Why do most of us lose control? It's not because we're weak. It's because nobody ever really taught us how to handle ourselves when life just explodes. And this is the key, the absolute core of it all. You don't have to feel everything people throw at you. You just don't. This isn't about becoming a robot or killing your emotions. It's about learning not to be a slave to them. It's about a kind of discipline, the kind that actually sets you free, letting you live above all that noise. Okay, so where do we even begin? The path to mastering your inner world? Well, it doesn't start with what you do. It starts with how you think. This first set of habits is all about changing the lens through which you see everything. Which brings us to habit number 1, respond like it's not personal. Think about it. When someone throws an insult your way, what's the first instinct? To fight back, right? But the crazy thing is, the pain isn't really coming from what they said. It's coming from your judgment of it. What really hurts you is how you choose to see it. And this is where it gets super practical. Ask yourself these questions. Seriously, is this really about me? What if they're just projecting all their own pain onto me? And here's a big one. Will this even matter in 24 hours? You see, when someone lashes out, it's almost always about their chaos, not your worth. So the goal is to detach your ego and create a little space right between that insult and your response. That tiny gap, that's where your freedom is. All right, let's jump to habit number 6 because this one is a game changer. So many of us get caught in this trap of trying to feel better. You feel bad, so you chase a high, numb the low. You look for a quick fix. But the real solution, it's not about feeling better. It's about thinking better. See, the solution isn't chasing some temporary feeling. It's about getting to the root, improving the thoughts that are creating the feeling in the first place. Your emotions are just waves, but your thinking, that's the ship. And that flows perfectly into habit 7. Don't attach meaning to every single feeling. You know those days you wake up and just feel anxious for no reason at all? The immediate instinct is to spiral, right? To ask, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? But here's the thing, not every feeling is some profound signal. Sometimes a feeling is just a feeling. It's like weather passing through your body. It doesn't have to mean anything. And this right here is what we call emotional judgment. It's the act of turning a passing feeling, like that random anxiety, into this whole negative story about yourself. You know, something is wrong with me, or I'm totally failing at life. We suffer so much more because we write these stories around our feelings. The real practice is to just observe it. Let it be there without tacking on a big dramatic narrative. You can feel sad without deciding you're broken. See the difference? Okay, so we've talked a lot about the mindset, right? How you think. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty, what you actually do in the heat of the moment. These next habits are all about controlling your outward response when you feel that big emotional rush. All right, habit number 2, kill emotional speed. Just think about the last time you said something you instantly regretted. You felt that rush, right? That flash of anger or hurt, and bam, you reacted. That rush, that's emotional speed. And it's what robs you of that crucial pause between the trigger and your reaction. So yeah, here's the definition. That tiny, destructive gap between a trigger and an impulsive reaction. You see, our minds are built to be fast, but wisdom is slow. And if you truly want to become emotionally untouchable, you have got to kill the speed that destroys your peace. Your real power is in the delay. So how do you do it? Here's the 4-step playbook. First, just feel the rush. Acknowledge it's there. But then, and this is key, step 2, create a pause. Don't answer, don't react. Step 3, let it cool. Walk away, take a few deep breaths, whatever it takes. And finally, step 4, respond with purpose. You'll be amazed. By the time you've let it cool down, you often realize you don't even care anymore. Now that is growth. Next up, habit number 3, and this one's a big one. Cut off the need to explain yourself. It's so natural, isn't it? When you feel judged, your first instinct is to jump in and defend yourself, to prove your side of the story. But real, deep strength, it lies in being totally at peace with being misunderstood. You don't owe anyone a performance. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? If someone truly values you, they don't need an explanation. And if they don't value you, no explanation will ever be enough. Think about that. The people who are demanding you explain yourself, they're often just looking for a weakness to exploit. So let your actions be your defense. Every single second you waste explaining yourself to someone who has already judged you is a second you've stolen from your own peace.
All right, so for this last section, we're talking about the long game. This isn't about what you do in the moment. This is about proactive training. It's how you build a stronger emotional core for the rest of your life.
Which brings us to habit 4. Build an inner wall they can't reach. Think about it. Most people are just emotionally wide open. Every little word, every comment just hits them full force. This habit is about building a protective boundary around your core. Remember, you have power over your own mind, not what happens outside, and absolutely nothing can get to your center unless you give it permission.
And that leads us to habit 5. Now, this one might sound a little negative at first, but stick with me. Train for disrespect. It's not about being a pessimist. It's about being a strategist. Look, disrespect is going to happen. It's just a part of life. So you have a choice. You can either be shocked and hurt by it every single time, or you can be trained for it, expect it, prepare for it. And then when it comes, you won't even flinch.
Okay, next up is habit 8. Expose yourself to silence and discomfort on purpose. We live in a world where most people can't stand silence for more than a few seconds, right? We rush to fill it with noise, with distractions, but that quiet, uncomfortable space, that's actually where your strength grows. So try it. Intentionally sit in silence for 10 minutes. Take a cold shower. These things build a kind of deep tolerance that no motivational quote is ever going to give you.
And finally, our last habit, number 9, study every emotional slip-up like you're a detective on a case. When you lose your cool, don't just beat yourself up and feel guilty. Get curious. Study it. Treat that outburst like it's a piece of data. Ask yourself, what was the trigger? What core belief of mine just got challenged? Every single one of those reactions becomes another clue on your roadmap to mastering yourself.
So, let's bring this all together. In a world that seems to thrive on chaos, on outrage, on constant noise, choosing to be calm isn't passive, it's a rebellion. It's a quiet revolution. And practicing these habits, it's not going to make you emotionless, not at all. It's going to make you incredibly powerful.
And this right here, this is the end goal. This is the result. You stop getting yanked around by every little trigger. You stop collapsing every time life gets a little too loud. Instead, you move with a kind of stillness, and you respond with wisdom. Your inner peace, that becomes your greatest superpower. So I'll leave you with this final thought. When you finally master yourself and find that deep calm inside, that's not the end of the journey. That's the beginning. That's the solid foundation you can now build everything else on. So the real question is, in a world that thrives on noise, what will you build with your silence?